Hey guys, what's going on? All right, today's video right now, what I'm gonna do is, if you have not heard about the Buffalo, New York, their school systems and what they've been trying to hide and not let parents and or the public know. It's already come out once on national television and whatnot, and then they tried to twist it like they do with Donald Trump and everything else. It's all about the mainstream media. They're losing their footing. Please, guys, help the mainstream media fall. But anyhow, the main reason I'm reposting this is I don't really have people to share to, like that. So I'll just do a reaction video and I'm going to show the whole thing, even if it gets to 10 people and those 10 people check into their schools and find out something's going on. That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to help get the message out, even though these guys, they get millions upon millions of views, like it's clicking up by the second. Anyhow, this is alarming proof that the Buffalo school system's exposed for hiding child abuse evidence. Unsubscribe podcast episode 214. All right, guys, please like, comment, let me know what you would like for me to react to. I'm going to try to stay mostly quiet. I will interject here and there, I'm sure.
It's out.
Wow,
So,
I wonder what that's like.
speaking of that, you guys want to sue one
I'm
of the
turning
news
it down.
channels?
Oh, get ready for
I built an entire case to sue one of the news channels.
Nick unfolds the binder of doom.
You get what you deserve.
Say hi to Eli. It's racially ambiguous, Brandon. His hair is fucking fabulous. Don't lie, a dark joke disposition. And there's a fat electrician. Welcome to unsubscribe.
Did we do the pop for this one? Do we pop the top for this one?
Yeah, for
Fuck
Ed.
it.
For Ed. Oh yeah, we
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
do it for Ed. That
What is
poor
it,
guy's
Dranch?
It's finally
He's such a
over.
piece of shit.
It's Ed Dranch.
I think it's Ed Dranch.
Yeah, you Ed.
Ed Duranch.
D-R-A, I think Dranch.
The D is silent.
Ed.
No, it's not.
On the count of Ed. 1, 2, Ed.
Ooh, do we have wine glasses?
Yeah, we should be classy. We should put this in
Do we have a
wine
wine glass? I should put this in a wine glass like the Buffalo school board member.
Is there any up there?
That's okay, though. That makes it fancy.
That's right.
Try not to burp.
It's okay. I'm on a podcast where I'm supposed to be drinking. She's in a school board meeting open to the public, drinking cranberry juice out of a wine glass that she slams.
Oh, I forgot to mention, yes, I have seen like the first 15, 20 minutes of this. And since it was so long, I was thinking about not doing it. But then I was like, you know what? No, screw that. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Now, when I did see this little clip coming up, tell me if you guys think it looks like cranberry juice. I don't think it does.
And then proceeds to flip off the camera screaming, "F you bitch."
Which was
dude.
fucking crazy. Like, I thought it was an exaggeration when you sent it. It's exactly what happened.
Yep, that's exactly. And the best part, just so you know that Buffalo School Systems is like super into like telling the truth and doing the right thing. The school board member, when she got called out on it by the other school board members, you want to know what she did?
Denied it.
She said, "That's not true, and I'm looking at pursuing legal action against that fellow school board member for slandering me."
That's crazy, because just recently they said that's not true and we're thinking of pursuing legal action.
Wait,
Yeah, I
that
know.
was about me though. About the thing that I said. That's true.
I know. And then you know what happened? The video came out. And then she apologized. And then everybody got mad and said, "You need to forgive her because she said sorry."
I don't give a damn. She come out saying it was false, and then now all of a sudden you're supposed to forgive her? Let me guess. And I'm trying not to bring race into this, but let me guess. It's because she's a black woman. You gotta forgive her. No, fuck that. Learn your lesson. If they'd start throwing people in prison, they would quit doing stupid shit. If you got your hand cut off for theft, I bet people would quit stealing real quick. And if they don't and they get caught, guess what? You lost your hands. You won't steal again.
And we can't hold adults accountable for their actions, apparently.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unsubscribe Podcast. I'm joined today by Eli Double Tap, Fat Electrician, our good friend Angry Cops, who has a lot to talk about, Brandon Herrera, myself, Talented Operator. Thank you so much for being here.
You missed his binder.
Nick's binder.
A special appearance.
Gigantic fucking binder.
Be the bigger bully.
bigger bully.
Today's episode, we're going to have Rich. This is going to conclude everything or get, hopefully, everything in the right direction as we, Nick unfolds the binder of doom, his 3-ring war book.
Oh, but real quick, we
I will say this. Fat Electrician, he is the wrong dude to fucking... If you're not doing shit, like, if you're doing shit wrong, and then trying to also lie on him or his friends, dude, you got a sad day coming, because this boy is about to unload.
since we were already on it, homegirl that denied.
Yeah, editor, I'll get you the video. Go ahead and throw up the video of the Honorable Paulette Woods.
Now, here's one thing. I want to say, I don't want to bring race into it, but when y'all see this video, tell me if, one, this is that so-called black fatigue everyone's talking about. It's not black fatigue, it's N fatigue. Talking about the N-word fatigue. We all know them. They can be any color, even though supposedly whites ain't supposed to say that. It's a word. Now, you go call someone and mean it in a particular fashion and way. Yeah, that's a little stupid, and you shouldn't do that. But anyhow, fact of the matter is, black people are tired of it too. Because I don't like saying black fatigue, because that puts them all together. Not all blacks act ghetto or loud, obnoxious, disrespectful. Not all black people are like that. 1,000%. I've grown up with them. I know. But anyhow, tell me if you guys think that this black woman is saying what she's saying because it's a white woman on the other side.
Slamming her glass of wine, then flipping off the school board and saying, "Shut the f up, bitch," repeatedly. She then goes on to say that never...
Now, she's in a school board meeting. She's on the school board. Flipping people off. Supposedly, did y'all check to see if that was cranberry juice? Let's check it out one more time.
"Shut the f up, bitch," repeatedly. She then goes on to say that never happened and I'm going to sue whoever says I did it. And then the video comes out and she's like, "I'm sorry," on a podium. This is also, I can get you the video for this too. She's at the podium and she does her apology.
Dude,
then
how
she
tall
has
is
her
she?
bishop
Like
come up, or
4
like her
foot?
priest or pastor, religious leader, whatever. He comes up.
That's right. I forgot about this part. So see, I said I wasn't meaning to bring race into it, but you're about to see they bring it up anyway.
And starts screaming at the audience and is like, "She apologized and you guys need to accept."
I'm sorry, just because you apologize doesn't give you any reason to be able to raise your voice and act like she's innocent now. She's not innocent. People are going to have their own opinions. You can't tell them what to think or do. What the fuck? Just because someone says I'm sorry don't mean shit. Someone totals your car by hitting it. "Oh, I'm sorry." Okay, it's all good, buddy. No, fuck that. You paying.
This is nothing more. This is their quote. "This is nothing more than the high-tech lynching."
It is unacceptable.
Well, then obviously, let me get to this. Obviously, if this is high-tech lynching, one, you don't know the definition of a lynch. Because people call them motherfuckers the KKK and Hitler and the Holocaust. This is a high-tech lynching. To lynch someone, you kill them with, a rope. But, on the internet, one, high-tech, these guys were sitting in a room talking in front of microphones that a camera recorded. Nobody lost their life. So that has nothing to do with lynching. And they didn't do anything high-tech. They were just sitting in front of cameras. The camera's high-tech, but that ain't got nothing to do with what they did.
That after giving an apology to our colleagues and constituents, that you choose to do a public high-tech lynching of a black woman.
Which is a wild...
Of a black woman. White people were hung too. Asians were hung. We were all slaves, all nationalities across the world. Most of them, the same nationality, enslaved the same nationality for the most part. It's who you live beside, man. Anyhow, gonna throw out of a black woman, of a black woman. Who gives a fuck what color she is? Nobody. Oh, let me get. It's cause they look white, but the guy on the right there, he's part Asian, and Brandon Herrera, if you don't notice it by his last name, he's part Hispanic. And I don't know. I think the other two or other
As
three are
somebody
mostly
that's
white.
read a ton of historical accounts of black war heroes who fought in World War II that literally had their fathers
And he
or
has
uncles
done
or
that. You
brothers
can look it up.
go through something like that, and then for you to equate that, just the unjustified, lawless killing of somebody for the color of their skin, to people being upset that you were in a school board meeting saying, "Shut the up, bitch," is flipping off the camera while
Right.
drinking, is fucking disgusting, and that alone should disqualify you from overseeing the education of children.
Sorry.
Oh,
I
she's
had
still
to
on the
move
board.
it.
She's still on the
She's
board.
still on the board.
She's a board
wow.
member. She's a sitting board member.
Was she the,
Let
the
me get out of the
spokesperson
way.
when everything first came out, when they had that big meeting, that initial meeting?
That was the superintendent. I
Okay.
forget her name. It's hyphenated. It just is.
It's like I don't remember her name, but it's hyphenated.
Something or all. I don't know.
No, that's absurd to me because that's just basic general accountability.
Not with Buffalo schools, it's not.
Accountability? Buffalo public school system?
Like this is a high-tech lynching. It's like no, this is just us accusing you of something you were on camera doing.
Ma'am, there's video footage. This is a Wendy's.
Actually, it's not even accusing you if you're on camera doing it. It's just pointing out you did it. Oh man, I just lost what I was going to say, guys. I'm sorry. Let me keep going.
I don't know.
Oh, the way that the school boards, dude, the way the elites have slowly but surely taken over and found out that they can fire people, rehire in new people until they get the people they want and have basically a monopoly over it and control everything is beyond BS, man. It's just,
It's disgusting behavior.
Fucking absurd.
Yeah, so I guess where do you guys want to go from
Rich,
here?
give us an update on where you're starting right now. You've done like the podcast run, then now you're finally slowing down on that side. But what was the recourse, or what is everything happening now with you?
Okay, so it's been like what, 3 weeks? I think 3 full weeks. We're going into the fourth.
oh, I thought it was like
So
a month.
It started off with
Month
our
and a
initial
half.
buzz, and then I went right away to do an interview with Channel 7. They did a 27-minute long interview, and they only put up like 3 to 4 minutes of its entirety. That was it. The news attacked me for about 3 or 4 days.
Now, High has made headlines numerous times in the past. The Attorney General's office had found High had been, quote, repeatedly discourteous and unprofessional.
This is ridiculous.
What is this?
This is crazy. I'm listening to all these.
It's kind of funny hearing two paid people sit in their little suits peddling bullshit, talking about people that have come up from nothing on the internet, become famous by millions, and these guys that are pushed on national television through cable TV, that people don't really have a choice if you don't have like internet or don't have a computer and don't want to stare at your phone. They get to watch that. And it's funny to hear these people think they're better than every one of those guys at that table have served in the military except for Brandon Herrera. And these guys haven't done a damn thing, period.
These guys burp and just be absolutely foul.
You're looking at,
But
like,
you
the
know
White
what it
Claws
is.
on
Yeah.
the table.
And
Is
so-
alcohol involved here?
My-
Who is alcohol involved here? You just said White Claws on the table. Yeah, alcohol is involved, but it has nothing to do with they're bringing straight facts. They looked it up on the internet, yo. Other than Angry Cops, he of course is the one that brought it out. But these people, they get paid to say what they say. If they don't say it, they'll lose their job. Which, yes, I hope they can't sleep at night. They probably can't. Or they just have no morals. But he looks like a beta, as old dude would say. But anyhow, he looks like he wears makeup and puts on Lee press-on nails. Yeah, these guys are a joke. Anyhow, I really am. I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to just let it roll out so it don't last 2 hours.
My
Where
first
are
thought
they?
is, okay, this can't actually be real.
I don't think there's ever been another case that has come out like this. It's so 2025, right? It comes out on the podcast and
Bizarre.
Right.
And then our autistic.
Sorry, gonna pause it. But that tells you where we've came. We've left the mainstream media to where we would rather watch people that we identify with, we would hang out with if we knew them, and we have similar, things in common. And these guys, they seem cool as fuck, and they're telling the truth. You motherfuckers, y'all are trash.
Army decided to show them they might want to reconsider coming after somebody
But
that
they're
might be looking out
stupid.
for the
They're
welfare
gonna
of
keep
children in the city of
headbutting the
Buffalo.
wall.
Especially when
Good
we have a binder
God.
worth of information that we got just from OSINT, just from open source intelligence gathering.
Just wait until those FOIA requests start coming back.
Oh, yes. So
I hope they don't, so I can sue them. Actually,
it'll be great.
I'm telling you, they're
when Nick
about to
starts
cook
doing the FOIA
fattle-
requests. I start getting calls from different news agencies. I'm not going on the local news anymore at all, unless it's the radio with David Bellavia, because he's been
Shout out to him.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's
David
amazing.
Bellavia's got a radio show on WBEN.
Who's the other guy? Ben, I think, too.
Ben's on Channel 2.
Is he?
Yep.
But he's been doing good.
Or no, Ben Tees from the Buffalo News.
Nate Benson is on Channel 2. He's
Yep.
doing great. And then Ben T is with Buffalo News. He's also doing great.
Yeah, Ben's been very funny to watch, even just on Twitter or X or whatever.
Yeah.
That's been very fun.
That's the one with the autistic army. We're like, let him through.
Stop.
They all stand to the side and
Do not touch him.
Yeah, careful. He's a hero.
they're all standing at parade rest, double saluting.
So after the first week of like this onslaught of bullshit on coming towards me and me bearing the brunt of it, and then our army pushing back and saying, wait a second, why are you doing this? We should be looking into this.
It just shows you who's in power, because any parent would not be upset about this. The only people that would be upset about it is who paychecks it hurts and who could lose their job over it. And that tells you exactly who ran the country for the last 4 years before Trump got in office. And even though there's some that still need to be weeded out, I hope it hurries up and gets every single one of these powerful, rich people. I want them in prison for the ones that have done something wrong. If you ain't done nothing wrong, then go on about your business. But there's no reason that the cop that is bringing it to attention that someone's kids got almost kidnapped. The dude was getting misdemeanor charges. Dude, I caught a felony for selling 2 pain pills way back in the day and lost my gun rights. But now Pam Bondi is getting that straightened out for people, that if it ain't a violent felony, then you won't be losing it, which I don't know the whole gist of it yet. I'm waiting to find out on if we still got to do something to get our rights back, because our rights are infringible.
This, you shouldn't be shooting the messenger, even though he has a fantastic mug, which you can now get at Bunker Branding.
Bad bitch.
And shirt. Went down the wrong pipe. So then Channel 2 special investigative reporter actually did a little bit of a deep dive and discovered that since 2021, there have been over 17,000 police calls to the city of Buffalo.
17,772.
To be exact.
Dude, I don't care what you're doing. There's something wrong here where either the kids are not being raised right, which they're not. They have no morals or any respectability. They have nothing. 17,000 times, almost 18,000 times, they have called the cops, 911, to a school. That's insane.
Exact. And about
to
54%
multiple
of them
schools.
fall under miscellaneous or information only, which is fine. If you get like a school board, or like, I don't know, like a school door was left open and it sounded the alarm, and you're like, all right, miscellaneous or alarm. It actually would go under an alarm call. Well, I stated originally that the schools were using these miscellaneous calls in order to cover up incidents of abuse on the children from either child on child or a child coming in and making a disclosure to the schools. Well, what do you know? Out of the past 4 major incidents that have gotten tons of news coverage from the City of Buffalo public school system, one of them being a stabbing or a shooting at McKinley, one of them I think was a stabbing. There was an overdose incident and something else.
The teacher,
and the kidnapping.
The teacher gave the kids THC gummies, and the alleged kidnapping that he's now getting charged for. Those were all school other.
The crazy one was the one with the teacher that warned them about that door. They're like, hey, students are taking knives through this door.
The stabbing in Riverside.
Yeah, they're like, no, that's not a problem. Student gets fucking stabbed from a knife that was snuck in through that door, and then they denied it.
Oh, I have the footage, yeah. So in the footage, the teacher actually wrote up...
I'll tell you now, Fat Electrician, don't piss him off or don't be lying and then try to go after him or his friends, because he's about to cook. He's about to cook these motherfuckers.
A thing, and he's the... I looked into him. He's the union rep for that school. Okay, so he wrote up a thing like, hey, I've had students bring in large knives into the school. They get them through school security because these schools have metal detectors or some screening process. They're getting them in through this door that's not locked and has a bad door. And he wrote every school board member and sent it to him repeatedly for, I believe it was like 19 months that he kept pushing it.
God.
Was the reply, you bitch?
He apparently in their process, you have to push it up the chain of command. And there's 3 levels to get something approved. The first level was denied, and that's just like your direct administrator. He denied it. It's like, no, it's not a problem. He appealed it and pushed it up to the school board, and the school board denied it. Then he was still pushing to have it reviewed a 3rd time, and then it's on the superintendent. Between the 2nd and 3rd time, the stabbing at Riverside happened. That he was trying to get the issue fixed before it became a potentially fatal issue. And then they magically approved it on the 3rd iteration after somebody had to get stabbed.
Which is what he complains about. He says, this is reactionary. Why are we reactionary?
Well, he calls it, because that recording was before the stabbing, or right after. And he goes, you guys had to wait until somebody got stabbed, just like I predicted. And sure enough, somebody got stabbed. Now you're going to approve it.
Yep.
And then the school board member has the balls to stand up there and be like, you never told us about this.
Oh, starts getting in a screaming match with him.
Yeah.
Fuck
and like all the other
you.
teachers give him a standing ovation as he's walking away. So I'll get the editor of the video. You can go ahead and play it. It's like 2 or 3 minutes. It's crazy.
I just want to be clear that all the time we spend here in this fantasy land world, when students at Riverside were getting stabbed, there's...
I mean, look at the ones in the background there. I don't know who they are or what they're doing. Maybe they're with the media. Never mind.
There every single day.
They're paying zero attention.
On a regular basis, and no one has even come into the school and had a meeting like this and talked to parents and talked to teachers and talked to our students and said, how can we protect? Excuse me, this is my time. This is my time,
You're going to
sir.
receive more time, but
This is my time, sir.
If you would have came to me and told me a situation about a knife, at that point, I would have called the authorities and took the proper action with the
Okay, know what you asked me?
Look at that big fat slob just sitting there in a chair. Oh my God. Pieces of crap.
Mr. Hurd,
Mr. Hurd, the speaker has the floor.
I told you about the knife.
The speaker has the floor.
Thank you. I filed a grievance 19 months ago, and it was very detailed.
And I get where he's coming from. He's agitated. He's irritated. 19 months, dude. Almost for 2 years. He has been sending this to them, and they've done nothing. Now something happens, and this big fat fuck sitting on the table over there, just barely getting under it. Like, oh, I know you're going to get hurt. I'd have done something about it. No, you wouldn't, because you had the opportunity, and you decided to shit on it.
In that grievance, I talked about how a student brought a knife in the side door. It's written in the grievance, which I sent to you all.
Send it
Guess
to all
what?
of them.
The non-student who stabbed the student in our school, guess what door they came in? That same door. And they were in the building that...
The fuck you got non-students coming in there for? So you got people that do not go to school. I'm sorry. Back in the day, like I dropped out of high school. I ended up going back. Then I got my GED. But when I would skip school or whenever I dropped out, last thing I did was go back in there. Why is this student, or not a student, why is this person going in there?
that day, and no one even told us. The DA had to tell us on the news. We had to do our own investigation. So there's a student with most likely a weapon in our building, and no one's sharing that with us. I'm gonna say this. This district has done nothing, and I told you, what's it gonna take? Someone getting stabbed or shot to have someone come in the building? And that's exactly what it takes. Because no one has lifted a finger for security at Riverside High School. It's a dog and pony show every single time.
The thing is, even doing the security, it's not quite reactionary. It's reactionary to parents not raising their kids right. Dad's not being, or father's not being there for the kid, and mothers and fathers not being together, not teaching their kid value, and most of all, God. You got to have God, guys. And I am not going to preach to you about religion. If you don't believe in God, that's on you. I wish you the best. I hope you find your way beforehand. But if not, that's on you, man. Anyhow, back to it.
Send in people for a week, it disappears, and then it's a disaster again. These kids and these teachers deserve better. And if you can't do the job, then all of you should have the dignity to resign.
They won't.
Let someone else do it.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo.
Well, dude, they should all be fired. He wrote every single one of them a letter, an email, whatever. He let them all know they should all be fired. None of them lifted a finger. None of them approved it.
So we go to that where Channel 2, the investigative reporter, pulls out the stats and says, hey, wait a second. Look at these numbers. These are concerning. These 4 major cases were all intentionally mislabeled as something other than what they actually were, whether it be stabbing, shooting, overdose, etc. Then, shit, I lost my train of thought. What happened after that? There was the 21 thing, and then, oh yeah, then that's right. Then the guy that did the attempted kidnapping.
Hey, can anybody tell what that picture is right there? Is it Spike? Oh, no, it's Deadpool. Yeah.
Kidnapping of the 2 kids.
When was that?
Well,
when was that?
Well, going back to the stabbing at Riverside, I believe, from what I can tell, there's been independent third-party investigations launched for the Riverside stabbing and for the shooting at McKinley in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of those independent third-party investigations launched by the school board have been released to the public or the Buffalo PD or the legal system.
Who's the third party in these situations?
Whoever they pick.
Yeah.
Right now it's open. Any law firm can get on their website right now and apply to be the third-party investigator. And I believe with the Riverside stabbing, I looked into it, and the law firm that they did then cited, assumingly they found results that they didn't like. So the law firm's like, well, this is actually attorney-client privilege, so we don't have to give this to you.
Is that their workaround so they can just...
All right, guys, I got a question, and if any of you guys know this, because the parts I seen, I never heard them mention it. But okay, so taxpayer money pays for these school boards and all that, right? So technically, you're paying to pay these people to sit on that school board. Then that school board goes and hires an attorney to look into these things. Then it's client attorney privilege. But if you're paying for their job, technically aren't you the client? Being, especially if your kids are in school, shouldn't you be the one that they're telling, being that the people that give these people a job is the people of New York? So it comes out of their paychecks. It pays for them to have a damn hourly or a salary. And then that salary, they go and pick some law firm. That law firm says it's attorney-client privilege. But isn't the people of New York the client? So shouldn't that be stopped, period? Let me know if you guys know. Please do. I hope y'all know the answer to that one.
Just do it
Yeah, so
that
this is
way.
a workaround. They're gonna say, oh, we're gonna do a third-party independent investigation, and then once we have the results, if we don't like them, we're gonna claim it's attorney-client privilege and never mention it to the public, and the public's gonna forget about it by then.
This doesn't require an investigation. It's just fact.
Yeah.
Is the crazy part. What are you going to look into? It's going to take you a fucking afternoon if you're not clinically retarded.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had a 4.5-hour meeting the other day trying to appoint a special investigator 4.5 hours, couldn't figure out who they were even going to have do the investigation.
Guys, when you leave your dogs at home, do you ever worry that
I'm
they
gonna
might
skip
find
through these
your firearm?
ads, guys.
Damn, maybe the ATF is onto something. No, I never thought about that.
Introducing Stopbox.
Timeout
room and turn off the lights.
Oh, let me back it up.
Children
called Timeout. Some teachers podcast.
Come on now.
Children in a cage, which we're not saying at all.
We were
and he's
specific
like,
on that.
you're painting everybody with a broad brush, right? But they're just clipping couple second segments out and portraying it.
On another podcast called Black Rifle Coffee Podcast, High described how some teachers and teacher aides use school bathrooms for so-called timeout rooms.
The Buffalo Public School will put children in the bathroom and turn off the lights and then put their foot against the door so the kid can't get out. Where's the timeout room? Oh, it's the bathroom. Timeout room is the bathroom? Yeah. What do you do in the timeout room? Well, my teacher and the teacher's aide, the Buffalo Public School, will put children in the bathroom and turn off the lights.
Wow,
So,
I wonder what that's like.
Now see, that I'm like totally. This reminds me of Donald Trump, where they would clip and edit and snip it to make it sound like he said something. Then you got all these left-wing dingbats coming out, you know, protesting or burning down cities like George Floyd. The cop didn't even have his knee on his neck. He had it on his shoulder. You can see it. But on top of that, he OD'd from enough fentanyl to kill a rhinoceros. What part are y'all not getting? It doesn't matter. He had drugs in his mouth. He tried paying with a fake money. Had he not tried to use fake money, guess what? The cop would have never been called. That would have never happened. Beside the point. Anyhow, that's what it reminds me of. It shows you the mainstream media is trash and to abort it.
Yeah, exactly.
Geez, the news doing that to two people who are trying to better the environment for people in their community? Brandon, who would know what that feels like?
You know, this is why I think that media trust is at an all-time high.
Honestly, I think he
And
would have won.
It's a smart move on their part because right now, all the information I have.
Brandon Herrera, he ran for mayor or I don't want to say the wrong thing. It might have been governor. Something done. No, it's not governor. He ran for mayor down in Texas, and it was close. I think he would have won. I think he should have won, and he probably did win.
Hundreds of teachers that I've talked to and interviewed and everything, and they're the ones that are giving me all the information, telling me what FOIA requests to fill out. Like, they're the ones that are helping. By and large, all of these teachers are great people trying to do what's best for these kids, and they all feel that their hands are being tied behind their back. They're not allowed to do what needs to be done to keep these kids and themselves.
And to me, that's kind of shocking because all the teachers I see, like, on TV, but if I'm talking about regular TV, then might be why the media might be playing it that way. But they all seem to have blue hair or green hair, and but it's mostly California with all the transsexuals and men saying they're women. Man, none of that. I never gave two craps what my teacher was or who she dated. There was one I wanted to, but I mean, that's what a boy does growing up. They go through stages in life where they're like, man, I'd do that. But no need to know what you're dating or who you're dating.
Themselves safe. And the administration is intentionally doing it. I mean, you're 2 decades into your career at this point, and you've never been written up in 20 years.
Never. All of a sudden, instantly. Getting called down to the administrator's office. And the odd thing about these write-ups, they weren't anything. They had no backing. It was just to intimidate me. I mean, it just got crazy. I just pulled it up before I got on with you, and I have this document. It's like every other day we were getting called down, and I got to the point where my phone would ring in my classroom, and I would get sick, and I would puke. Because I would literally go to the bathroom and puke because I was being tormented every day and supposed to teach kids at the same time. And it makes you physically ill because I'm not used to treating people this way, ever.
If you guys hear my dog snoring, I'm so sorry. She's laying right beside me, and she just won't quit snoring.
Ever. And I'll tell you what, it started then. And up until a month and a half ago, it has not stopped. They have not stopped retaliating against me, and it's almost gotten worse.
So what they're doing is they're coming out and making it seem like, oh, we just want to burn everything to the ground and go after these teachers. We don't. Like, the teachers are great. It's just not even all of the administration. Some members in the administration and the culture that they've created are not safe, and it doesn't allow these teachers to do their jobs.
Which is really fun that you have teachers on the inside that are essentially like with telling you what FOIA requests to file and shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically like they're giving you the exhaust port plans on the Death Star. Like, please, for the love of God, blow this up.
Well, the scariest part to me is every single, with the exception of like one or two, and the one or two that I've talked to, the only reason they're not terrified of losing their job is because the school board has already gone after them repeatedly and tried to fire them and lost in court.
Correct.
Nice.
The gentleman that we've already showed the clip of at that school board meeting, that was the union rep, I forget what instance it was, but he got into it with the Buffalo School Board over some safety stuff, and they put him on paid leave for 2 years while they tried to fire him.
What? That's messed up, but at least he was on paid leave. That'd be nice to have a 2-year vacation and still get paid, but the thing is, it's all for bad reasons.
Including other people.
Including, because he was the head of the social studies department. So not only did they put him on paid leave, they put the entire social studies department, which I believe was 5 teachers in total, on paid leave for a year and tried to fire all of them. And by sheer coincidence, the other 2 social studies teachers of the 5 that they put on paid leave were the other 2 union reps for that school.
Almost like they're trying to union bust, which is
illegal.
Oh!
Hey guys, I'm gonna go make me a cup of coffee
And
real
then they
quick.
ended up
I will
losing in
step
court
right back.
saying
I
the
have
teacher
seen
did
this little part
absolutely
right
nothing
here.
wrong. And the Buffalo School Board's people testifying on their behalf were found inadmissible in court, presumably because they got caught lying under oath.
About what?
I don't know exactly what. I have the court documents, and you can see that their testimony was deemed no good.
And
in
nothing
court.
happened because of that?
He ended up getting to keep his job.
No, but I mean, like, lying under oath, there was no repercussions?
Why would there be?
It seems to be a recurring theme.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. If there is a mass layoff or they try that, understand why it's happening. It is the big cogs right now that are the issue. It's a lot of the times what happens is the big cogs at the top, you can't do anything. So they're just like, oh, replace these ones until we find team players, and then rinse, repeat until you do find team players. But right now, the goal of all this is to get rid of those fucking big cogs that are literally pieces of garbage.
Ed Dranch is a giant cog.
His comments are still turned off on his Twitter.
Good.
They're going to have to be turned
His
off for a
phone
while.
number was on his Twitter for a while.
Well, it was like his business phone number, I think.
Yeah, that was an interesting call.
Maybe don't attack the podcast as trying to stick up for kids, and then double down when we quote you and post the entire 1.5-minute opening of your video where you do that and go, well, no, that's not what I said.
It was taken out of context. I'm like, no, I watched the full fucking thing.
We played more of his original opening in that video straight than they did of my entire 20-something minute interview at Channel 7.
It's wild not to apologize. I do not get that mindset. It's like, I wonder if I just came out and was like, hey, sorry, I messed up. How that might react.
Even if he was just like, hey, clarify, just to clarify, I think, these are very important allegations. I didn't mean to downplay it, whatever. Just take a little bit of accountability.
Yeah. My intent wasn't this. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My intent was to talk about the thing, and I hit on this thing first. I could have saved that for a later date. And our army would have been like, hold.
Hey, Brandon. Yes, Eli? When you think of businesses that are just crushing it, bunker, unsub, what's the first thing to enter your mind?
That's easy, Eli. A good child labor law attorney.
Huh?
Eli, I said Shopify. What did you...
Because this...
for all the lawyers...
I built an entire case out for it.
Neat.
Neat,
very
yeah.
exciting.
So,
for all the lawyers out there, this is called foreshadowing.
I'm conflicted because this news channel's been the least courteous to Rich, but they've also got the best journalist working for them. So it's kind of one of those cases where Nate Benson works for Channel 2 WGRZ, but everybody else that writes on it that isn't Nate Benson shits on Rich to the point that it's now defamatory, and I can prove it. Okay, so in multiple articles...
I'm telling you, man, he's about to cook these guys. They better do what they're supposed to do.
Including YouTube videos that they put up, which I have saved, and news broadcasts that they've aired, which I have saved, and news articles that they've printed, they've all claimed that Detective Richard High is on the Brady list.
Yeah.
You know what the Brady list
Which is incorrect.
Yeah.
Guess what I have?
Well, would you like to explain what the Brady list
The
is?
Brady list means that you're on like the no-fly list when it comes to the district attorneys for when you go and take the stand to testify. It specifically states that you have credibility issues, which I know I've never lied on the stand, and all of my internal affairs or complaints never has to do with my evidence collection, my time on the stand, my integrity, or lying about any sort of charges that I've put on. So I have zero credibility issues on the stand. That is my history. But them saying that I'm on the Brady list would say that I do have credibility issues and that I cannot testify because of...
I would say that would affect all of your career, like, because if you ever want to move up in a position or this or that, you know, they're gonna look at what they've heard, and they might solely go off of that. Oh, well, he's got a bad rep due to the news, and if I was them, I'd go ahead and sue them for that.
Because of those issues.
It's a pretty big allegation.
I would say it's significant and would look very poorly in my career.
Yeah.
Because a detective not being able to testify is significant.
That would be
very
crazy.
damaging.
And then
Very
we put it
damaging.
right here, right? We can show the clips of them saying that right here.
Yeah, I have them.
The allegations made on the Unsubscribed podcast by
Wow.
Buffalo Police Detective Richard High have prompted the Buffalo School Board to seek an outside investigator. Officer High alleges the district...
You're telling me, because he said 3 weeks, right? That's what Angry Cop said earlier. It's been 3 weeks since they posted that video. Look at his beard there. Now, I can grow my beard out somewhat quick, but 3 weeks to have... Wow.
failed to report an attempted
No,
abduction,
I can't grow it that
sexual
fast.
assault, child abuse, and destroyed
I used to
evidence,
have a
which he
beard.
discovered while working a case. Allegations that have outweighed High's status on the Brady list, which is a list of law enforcement officers whom the Erie County District Attorney's Office have found to have credibility issues.
So Channel 2 is the only one that even after it came out, they're like, oh, he's actually onto something. When all the other news channels just started referring to him as SVU veteran detective Richard High, they would still put in the article, these allegations appear to outweigh his placing on the Brady.
Appear. Is that how they're going to try to say it? Well, we didn't say it was definite. It appeared.
List. Like just mad.
No,
they
you
have to admit that he's doing the
manufactured
right
that
thing.
shit.
Well, I have the Brady list. Guess who's not fucking on it? Richard High. So claiming that somebody is so uncredible that they can't even testify in court under oath is a pretty big allegation, right? The problem with defamation is if I was going to sue you for it, I would have to prove that it wasn't a genuine mistake and that you did it maliciously, right? So how would I be able to prove?
What would be the other point in even manufacturing it? Because he's not on it. So, being he's not on it, you manufactured it. And by the way, just so you know, his beard, I was thinking of Brandon's. I thought Angry Cops was as thick as Brandon's. I was like, holy crap, in 3 weeks he grew a huge beard, which he still grew a pretty good beard.
Prove that.
Well,
that they
like
were
a history would probably be able
Oh, like an ongoing history? Cool. What if I trained an advanced AI to go through their entire website and catalog the top 10 officers in the history of the news source that they've written articles about? And Rich is the third most reported on cop in Buffalo history out of 800 police officers. And not...
Did y'all hear that? He oh, wow.
The single article is even remotely charitable to Rich.
Let me go get my cup of coffee now. I had to go make a new pot.
To then defame me.
Anytime they get a chance to throw him under the bus, they do it. Okay, so I can prove that he's the third most reported on cop in Buffalo's history out of 800 cops, which to me says that you've got a wild hair up your ass and you're gunning for him. Okay, so I'm able to prove that you would lie on purpose because you don't like him, right? But then what's even harder is I then have to go out and I have to prove that he's not on the Brady list, which he isn't. And then, what was the other facet? I have to prove that
it wasn't a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake, which, the evidence seems to imply that.
If they try to fix anything, it is Sunday, May 18th, 2025, when this comes out. I don't want them to be like, oh, look, See,
You better redact this.
Yeah, like this is the exact date. Today's
Luckily-
date. I will then enter again, just again.
I have it all saved.
Okay.
We have the Wayback Machine, fuckhead.
Yes.
I have it all saved in catalog, but like then the real problem is like, okay, so I proved it was malicious. I proved that you are lying and that was on purpose. You've got you maliciously did this to Rich. So then the problem is like, okay, well it's just one cop, it's one detective at 800. How much is that really worth in a defamation case, right? But then you got to realize. Rich is probably the most famous active serving cop in the world. Anybody think of another cop?
Like active?
A cop with multiple millions of subscribers that's recognized nationwide and globally, who built his entire online persona around.
I don't know of any cops. Like, if I had to name a cop right now. Oh, man, what's his name? He's from Wentz. He had pink cells. He had a spider on the hood of his state trooper car. I think it's state trooper. I want to say not Winston-Salem. I can't think of it, guys. Damn.
Around accountability.
I don't know
doing
any
the right
cops.
thing. And then you come out and
Not
you say
famous.
that he's such a
No.
piece of shit that he can't testify under oath because
I
he
don't know
lies
any.
all the time. Seems like that'd be worth a lot of money in court.
Yeah, and also that proves a financial harm to your brand.
I wish Rich would come
that was
back.
the other
That's
part.
what I was thinking
That was
too.
the other part is I would have to prove financial harm, which would be tricky to do unless I got like 20 to 30 people to comb through every Reddit and Facebook post that's been out since this case broke and took screenshots of hundreds of people parroting the same talking point that Rich is on the Brady list.
And those hundreds of people need to stop watching the mainstream media.
Oh. Which came directly from them, from a credible news source. So now I can prove that it did harm his reputation.
Yeah. But you know what's even better? You know what's better? Is they've harmed the mainstream media's image. They've harmed it so bad. Not including all the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden BS, all the Trump stuff. The mainstream media is on a sinking ship. I can't wait.
If there's any lawyers that would like to take up this case,
Yeah, so I guess I'm saying if I were Channel 2, within like 48 hours of this video dropping, I would have a whole article apologizing to Richard High on how you guys were wrong. And when I say a whole article, I don't mean go back and change the articles. I mean, I would make a whole article titled WGRZ apologizes to SVU Detective Richard High for fucking lying, or I'm going to turn over all this evidence and then go to the kitchen and grab some popcorn while I watch him sue the dog shit out of you.
Cheers.
Oh, I like this so. Dude.
I told you, this man is gonna cook you motherfuckers. Throw him in the microwave with the popcorn, Mr. Electrician.
I like to see bad people get what they deserve.
right?
You get what you deserve.
Well,
High's allegations have outweighed his status on the Erie County District Attorney Office's database for law enforcement officers with credibility concerns. Even though he's not on it and never fucking was.
Quote, Channel 2 WGRZ.
Oh my god.
Oh Lord.
Whoa. You're being
And I know
fed.
Reddit probably had a heyday just going through.
Oh yeah. I got hundreds. I got hundreds of comments parroting their false talking
God,
point
come on
where
now.
they defamed him. And I have the screenshots of all those comments already. So, I mean, if they don't want to apologize publicly with its own article and put it up on your fucking YouTube channel and the news broadcast, then I'm just going to turn it over and I can prove that you've written about him the third most out of 800 cops over the course of his career. Nothing's ever been charitable. You throw him under the bus every chance you can get. I can prove he's not on the Brady list, and then I can prove that I have hundreds of comments of people parroting your false talking points to discredit him as, defamation and harm to your credibility for the most famous cop in the world. So that reputation's worth a lot of money. Up to you guys.
Harry that fuckhead.
Nate Benson,
I got
sorry,
it.
you're a great journalist, but
Damn it.
somebody else working at that news agency has it out to get him. I don't know if it's Ron Plants or the guy writing his scripts, but they're going to cost that place a lot of fucking money unless they start eating some crow. So, see you soon. The Buffalo School Board is
Fucking
just
A, I
creating
got the wrong
policies
thing. Hold on,
where
guys. I'm sorry.
It basically ties the hands behind the backs of the teachers that are trying to do the right thing. And I have multiple teachers, multiple interviews, I have hundreds of stories via written. But they all say the same thing. They've all attempted to do the right thing, and they've all been instructed by the school board that they're not allowed to do it. And I've asked repeatedly, and nobody knows that this is actually written down, but every single teacher has told me this without me asking. They've all told me the same thing. Buffalo school teachers are not allowed to call 911. They have to talk to an administrator, and the administrator makes that call.
Now, me personally, I never knew this in school. I never heard it. I never had 911 have to come out to our school. We had a school resource office, which was a sheriff. I mean, she was a sheriff. She was like a 6th degree black belt in Taekwondo or something. And I remember I busted my knuckles open on the lockers. I mean, I split it all the way open. She told me, look, next time you're having an issue, me and you can go out on the football field and we can throw down. I laughed. But at the same time, I was like, she ain't playing either. But man, anyway, I didn't know that. Why are they having to go through another person to decide if 911 is needed? If someone's having an emergency and the teacher, the first thing that comes to their mind is 911, that should be the end of it. Students should be calling it since they're allowed to carry phones around in school.
Jeez, Nick, does that ever come up in one of these stories where something happens and it could affect the health, welfare, and well-being of a child?
It sure does.
Wow.
Multiple times.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we can go into the THC gummy ones. So I've interviewed multiple people on that. I've interviewed the uncle of one of the boys that took the 5.
Why the fuck is THC in schools anyway? See, all these teachers need to have drug tests. Every one of them. Every one of them.
100 milligram edible. And he's very disappointed with the school board. A, how do 500 milligram edibles just wind up on the hallway floor or at the locker room floor?
Granted, could have been a student, but
in a middle school, and then why would a teacher pick them up and give them to children?
In a middle school.
Whatever, stupid shit happens. Maybe that is happen. Maybe that did happen. That's not my overall issue with the thing. My issue is the school and their policies at the administrative level do not allow things to get addressed as quickly as they should for the safety of children. The paramedics who I've talked to and I've interviewed.
Quick, what is the age of the children? This is elementary?
11 and 12.
Okay, so you have 11 and 12. And
oh, dude, just wait. Wait till a student dies because they had to call administration first. That is when shit will literally hit the fan for each and every one of the administrators.
5 milligrams. 5 will wreck somebody that's never done it, especially when you weigh 80 pounds, 90 pounds. Now, 500 milligrams, like what
That'll
would 50 do?
wreck a rhino.
I know what 500 does to an 11-year-old because they were hospitalized with resting heart rates of 130.
You said he found it on the...
Actually, no. Because they're going to explain some. Hold on.
He allegedly found it on the floor, either in the hallway or in the locker room. And I have a picture of the THC gummies. They resembled Sour Patch Kids, but as you can see, Stony Patch.
Stony Patch.
Weed.
They've got singular cyclones.
Now, the first time I seen that bag, I thought that the eyeball, I thought that was a mouth, which it might be. I can't tell. It kind of looks like they got eyes above that, but maybe it's an eyebrow I see. But anyhow, I remember looking up something on this. If I'm not mistaken, the whole bag is 500 milligrams, and therefore there was 2 students, so that should have been 250 milligrams each, which then they were still hospitalized. If they had 500, it would have been double as bad.
Cyclops eyes.
Singular Cyclops eyes that in a colored version, they're very red as if you'd been smoking weed.
Huh.
So, but granted,
Imagine
it does,
that.
if you're just taking a glance, maybe it does kind of look like Sour Patch Kids and maybe it was all an accident. Whatever. That guy should still be fired, but that's separate. My issue is when the EMTs get called, the EMTs show up, and I've talked to the EMTs.
Wait a minute. Now I am confused. Did they say the teacher gave it to the students?
Pull up to the school, and nobody will let them in. The doors are locked. Now, if a child is overdosing on an illegal drug, I would either A, have somebody sitting at the curb waiting for the EMTs to show up and then immediately take them to the children, or I would have the children outside waiting and
Common sense.
Not what happened. Took the EMTs.
Dude, I'm sorry. If my kids were in Buffalo school like right now and this was going on and this happened to my child, oh, hell would break loose outside of that school, inside of that school. Not with the students there. Oh, but them motherfuckers in there, they'd have got it.
I believe he said 8 to 10 minutes to find someone to let them into the building. And nobody would even come to the doors. It was actually the security guard from the parking lot that came in. And the security guard's like, hey.
Dude, you guys ever had to wait for a security guard to come to the door from the parking lot? That shit takes forever. And I'm not talking about at school. I'm talking about anywhere.
Hey, what's going on? He had no idea. He had not been briefed on the issue.
Imagine that.
So it took them somewhere between...
Well, you got to go through the administration before you're allowed to even have 911 called. And then you expect that administrator to actually get on the walkie-talkie or pick up a phone and call the security guard? Are you insane? They just had to dial 3 numbers. They had to dial 911. And I'm sure they had to record it too while they're standing around with their cell phones watching people die.
Between 15 to 20 minutes from arriving on the scene to get to the children that were overdosing on an illegal drug. And then once they got in there, the principal was apparently just didn't really give a shit. The school resource officer that was there comes up and is arguing with the EMTs like, well, do they really have to go to the hospital? They look fine. And the EMT is like, yes, they're going to the hospital. So that...
Oh, wait. The kiddo stated they got them from the gym teacher who found them on the floor. See, originally, for some reason, I was thinking that the student had found them on the floor and then him and a friend split them. I did not catch the part where the gym teacher supposedly found them on the floor.
That was an issue. And then a patrol officer showed up on the call as well.
Somebody needs to sue that. Someone needs to sue the gym teacher. Yeah, start there. Start with the gym teacher. Sue his ass.
And the SRO and the patrol officer got into...
You don't give anyone any candy that you don't know where it came from the get-go. From Jump Street. And, I mean, I get it. It's a 12-year-old kid. You're going to listen to your teacher. But just because your teacher gives you something don't necessarily mean to eat it. Unless the bag was sealed. This gym teacher, he needs to be put in jail. He's stupid.
Like an argument about why that guy shouldn't have
That's
even
why.
shown up and
He's
the SRO
stupid.
had it under
It's
control.
illegal to be
Meanwhile,
dumb.
you said this kid has a resting heart rate of about
130, correct. He's having the worst day of his life. He just had 500 milligram edible.
Now, what is your normal heart rate? Does that mean that his heart's going fast? Because from my last time, I thought mine was 130 over 94, so I guess 94 was...
So just so we're
I'm going to shut up again.
It's 50 per gummy. So it's a 500 in a little bag.
The
and
two of them
bag.
ate an entire bag. Of,
So they had 5 each.
50 per, and again, like 5 would wreck somebody at that.
Or they
level
had-
50, 250 if they split it.
So they ate the entire
Wow.
bag because it was candy. And so this is all going on, and I believe it was the principal or the assistant principal. It was an administrator that had the bag. They had to go into the administrator's office and be like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how much drugs these kids had under your supervision. Where's it at? And she had it sitting underneath her big, like, metal tumbler.
Oh, so now it's a female gym teacher. Even better.
And the EMT said like she was trying to hide it. And when he directly asked her for it, she like reluctantly gives it to him. And he investigates, sees that it's 500 milligrams in the bag. Okay, now he knows. He hands it back to her.
Thing is, that gym teacher, yeah, they should definitely be thrown in jail. They are complete morons. One, they gave kids stuff, either they knew it was drugs and gave it to them anyway, or they're so dumb they didn't know that something that says, oh Lord, man, come on guys, y'all know you can't be that dumb. And then you try to hide the bag. What good's that going to do you?
To her, takes the kid to the hospital. Comes back, and he's, taking notes. He wants to see the bag again to either take the bag or take a picture of it.
Should have taken it
we
the
don't
first
know where
time.
The bag went.
Oh.
So the evidence
is edibles legal in New York? If not, the bag should have been taken as, in case something did happen to the kids, that bag should have been taken, period. Because 2 kids are going to the hospital for it. That teacher should have to pay for their hospital bills.
evidence disappeared.
The teacher did it.
I feel like the destruction, intentional or unintentional, of evidence is like an ongoing theme with the City of Buffalo school system, whether it be video evidence or physical evidence like this bag.
Richard, isn't
One
it
would say.
crime?
Destruction of evidence? I believe there's something. I'm tisming right now because I believe New York State Penal Code has that.
Sounds like justice is being obstructed.
Now, so that's pretty bad, but it's an indicator of the overall problem, right? So they're just not working with first responders in the way that they should. And all the teachers have told me that.
Part of that reason is, one, worried about their paycheck and keeping getting the chance to continue having a paycheck because they'll get fired. And also, they're just wanting to cover their own little ass. That's it. That's all it is. Otherwise, your whole entire job is to raise these kids up to be something good, and then you're sitting here not even paying attention. One, you shouldn't be bringing them to school. 2, if you do bring them to school, at least have the wherewithal to be able to read the bag before you decide to give out candy to your students, you idiot.
Told me this. They're not allowed to call 911. They have to do everything through the administration. And I interviewed another teacher who wanted to remain anonymous, so we're going to play that clip here in a second. But has a story, and I believe I've shown you guys a video, so we don't have to watch it. We'll just play it for the audience.
When I taught at another school in the city, the music teacher had a student that passed out cold. And this was probably like a 6th grader. She ran over to my room, the teacher, and she said, so-and-so just passed out on the floor. I can't wake him up. Come help. I went over there. I'm like,
about to throw my
we gotta
dog
call
out.
the police. So we called the...
Guys, let me go throw my dog out. Y'all watch this, and I'll be right back.
Before you call police, you have to. So we call the administrator, and the administrator says, you are not calling anybody. We're going to call the mother and have her come over. And me and this teacher are like, what are you talking about? Like, we can't wake the kid up. Like, we need an ambulance here now. No. The principal came down to our room and stood there while this kid is passed out. Passed out. No ambulance, nothing. Do you think that's crazy? Mom finally shows up. I don't even remember how it ended. I know Mom was motherfucking everybody. And shame on me. I was younger back then. But there's always this idea, like you're always scared of, like, you're going to get insulted. Literally. I don't know what ruling the administrators have, but there's something that they do that you are scared shitless.
Do you remember what ended up happening with the girl? Like, why she passed out? I mean, did she get to the hospital eventually?
She did get to the mom brought her to the hospital. Yeah. And I remember she was back in the building the following week. So.
I mean, she was out of school for days after this.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't, and
Once
obviously
again,
they
so
probably
sorry.
didn't double back to let you know what the medical issue was. But regardless, I mean, that girl could have been ODing on drugs, and it took, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to get Mom, drive there from work, pick her up, drive her to the hospital rather than just calling the ambulance?
Yeah, it was probably a good, I would say it was about 20 minutes. I think it was about 20 minutes. It was awful. Awful. Like, we could not wake this student up.
So, I mean, it took this kid an hour to get to the hospital when she lost consciousness and was unresponsive. And she didn't end up making it back to school till the following week.
What I just don't understand is the incentive. Is it just whether it's anti-cop sentiments or just trying to
cover
make the
their
school
own
seem
ass
better than it is, or like it's functioning better than it?
Well, that, and I'm assuming for new enrolling parents that do decide to look it up or that are able to find it. They don't want that on, any kind of list. But still, the fact of the matter is 18,000 phone calls to 911. And I get it. It's the whole all of Buffalo. It's all the schools in Buffalo. 18,000. Dude, y'all got issues.
Than it is. What
starts at home though?
Feel like they just have. What is their goal?
I truly believe on my side, just the overview, stranger to it, haven't deep diving. It is. Oh, we need to look good. Look how good. Yeah, we had 17,000 calls, but half of those were just
God, the way he just described that reminds me of the Democratic Party and our government in general. It's like, yeah, but over half of it was just, it was just regular illegal immigrants. Okay.
What were they called?
And that's the ones they let us know about.
Only. It's small stuff. See, we're really safe. Yeah, miscellaneous. We're really safe. You're good to go. Funding, however that works, and you just keep doing that.
Yeah, and then that shithead lawyer that works for the school from Lipschitz Mathis or whatever the fuck that law firm is comes on the news and he's like, actually, the sheer volume of calls that they've contacted the police clearly shows that they're working great with law enforcement.
It shows y'all got a damn issue with these kids that, one, need to have a dad and a mom that gives a fuck in the damn family, and also it shows your teachers are not in control of the situation, because whether it's fights, whether it's drugs, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is the stuff is getting into the school, and then the teachers cannot control any of these students. If they're fighting each other, if some random person that's not a student is walking into the school causing these things, it doesn't matter what way you lay it out. 18,000 phone calls is beyond ridiculous. Each and every one of them need to be fired, and some of them need to be imprisoned.
Enforcement. I'm going to conveniently ignore the fact that 54% of the calls were listed as school other. So then we call them out, and that doesn't work.
I'm not talking about the teachers. I'm talking about the admin
John
that created
J.
all this shit.
Flynn, I believe his name is, former district attorney.
His middle name is Jizz.
And the news brings him on, and he fucking is like, well, actually, I was a district attorney, and I promise you that, the whole time, I realized that the dude was only getting charged with...
I'm sorry, but, if this has been swept under the rug this long, and you were the previous guy, whatever you say that comes out of your mouth is bullshit. Because this didn't start overnight. This started back when you were in it or before you. I almost want to say that this is all due to what has happened since the 60s and 70s. Because I grew up in the 80s, and I have a feeling it was already going at that point. It all started. Lyndon B. Johnson and the welfare system got families divided, gave women money to live by themselves and spit out babies. It's all degenerate shit.
Misdemeanors for assault and child endangerment, and then Rich came out and said that he was kidnapping, and then the DA, after having a bunch of backlash, magically was like, oh, we are going to charge this guy with felony kidnapping.
And see, the DA should be fired too, because she should have done it right in the first fucking place.
But,
whatever.
That had nothing to do with the podcast, and I would know because I'm a former DA. What the fucking news didn't tell you is Flynn also works for Lipschitz Mathis, or whatever the fuck that law firm is, that is directly working...
Lipschitz Mathis. All right, Donald Trump, which I know Donald Trump would never see my video. Not at least until I got 10 or 20 million subscribers, which is not even in sight. Guys, I'm just trying to make it to 50 subscribers. So if you could, please help me out and like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you want me to react to, and I will. Anyhow, let's go ahead and finish this up. I don't mean to keep pausing, but damn it, man.
Working for the school board. The entire thing's...
That's what needs to be... That's what I was going to say. Like Trump is firing these law firms, that law firm needs to be fired.
Shit and rigged.
So the only people that are talking out or speaking out in their favor are people who have a financial incentive to do so.
Correct.
Of course.
Financial and legal obligation to do so.
Just clarifying.
Isn't that neat? Isn't it cool how the news...
I still think it's, damn, the taxpayers are paying for the school board people. Therefore, whoever the school board gets as an attorney, the client attorney privilege is between the people of Buffalo, New York, and that attorney office, not the school board. School board ain't the school board ain't actually the one paying them. It's the taxpayers, because the taxpayers are paying for the Board of Education and all that.
Part out that he's working for the same law firm that protects all the administrators.
You know,
it's crazy the news would do that.
You know, it's funny because Flynn also said that he didn't have any incidents where the school was covering anything up during his tenure at DA at the DA's office as the DA. But you know what, Nick?
It took me all of about 15 minutes to find out that not only was that a fucking lie, you can actually still go on change.org or change.gov and sign a petition to this day demanding that he step down as DA because he refused to.
Guarantee you, guys, we can put money on it. Anyone want to go against me? Best believe, now that Unsubscribe has brought this right here up, how much you want to bet they get enough signatures to get that dude to step out? How much you want to bet? And how much you want to bet? They going to keep fucking around and they going to find out, and he might be one of them going to jail for all the shit he's covered up, hid, and let kids get abused.
To prosecute childhood sex crimes appropriately.
Wow.
That's the entire reason they wanted him to step down.
How many thousands of signatures does it have already?
It had 3,500 before I put it out to the internet. There's probably hundreds more because people went and also signed it.
Oh, it's
just
about
for
to be
mine.
thousands and thousands.
3,500 people legitimately from Buffalo that would have signed this thing, demanding that he step down for not properly addressing childhood sex crimes.
Do you have any like a single instance of those? Just one of the stories.
So a lot of the story that it goes back to is in years prior when he was the DA. The Archdiocese, the Catholic Church operating in the area of Dubuque, had a priest or multiple priests that had, been accused of childhood sex crimes, whatever, and he apparently did not do his due diligence in investigating and punishing those sex crimes. And I think the Archdiocese of Dubuque is like in a stage of bankruptcy right now because they've been sued so many times. But that being sued is a civil lawsuit.
Right.
Not a criminal lawsuit. So that means that the parents, allegedly, if these kids were assaulted, were having to go into the legal system and file and sue the church individually, and there was no criminal prosecution. And that's why they wanted this guy to step down, is because he was not doing his due diligence and punishing childhood sex crimes. So for him to come out and be like, yeah, I would have never done this as DA, it's bullshit. You did it.
Mm-hmm. Also, one of the specific things that I brought up happened during his tenure. One of the stories where there was a assault at a school pool, and the school principal, this happened 2 years ago while he was DA, and the school principal failed to not declare it, report it. And then a year later, the child that was the victim of it disclosed it to somebody else. Then it became an investigation, but guess what happens after a year? All physical evidence is gone. The video is erased and like recorded over because it's been a year. They only save it for like, let's say even 180 days. That's gone.
Yeah.
And that school principal wrote the DA and said, hey, I'm not going to come in for the subpoena that your office sent me because I did my own investigation and I don't really care. Sent a letter.
That is bullshit. So he did an investigation and he's not going to show up to the, man, what the?
Stating why they're going to refuse to respond to the subpoena while he was the district attorney.
I have a question. I do history videos on the internet. If I were to apply at Buffalo schools to be a history teacher with no degree in education or history, do you think that I would get hired?
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Why is that?
Well, because you don't have like a teaching degree.
Oh, so I don't have the proper training to be a teacher, yet they don't have any training to be an investigative detective, yet they can host their own investigations, determine that no crimes were conducted, and then not inform law enforcement even though they're a mandatory reporter. That's what you're
Not only that, not inform the fucking parents. Have y'all noticed this, that the government is continuously trying to divide the kids from the parents and make it to where the government is the one raising the kids, and therefore the kids only talk to the government? That way they're mind controlled. That is exactly what they're doing. Wow.
I mean, that's exactly what I would get out of this story. And it also happened during his tenure as DA, which goes against what he was talking about when he went on the news to open his big, fat, stupid mouth.
They're like a
fat,
slam
stupid
poetry
mouth.
duet.
Cody, look. What? Not at me. Not look at.
This is one thing I have to say always. So now you can seamlessly. Oh, Turtle Beach doesn't just have the bank.
Tire order.
About their amazing today.
This loves one thing. It's edging.
Isn't there also allegedly another potential sex crime that was conducted, and when the law enforcement officer showed up to investigate it, all the administration and teachers had gone home for the day, so he couldn't do his job?
Yes, there's 2 new stories
Wow.
that have come out.
When was it? Okay, when was this?
Since our original.
This has been
Since the original one. There's already 2 more that have happened and have been swept under the rug or avoided in some way, shape, or form. I have not seen any of this.
This is while they're now facing intense scrutiny. This is what they're still up to.
We are like B-Day plus 22 or
Real
something
smart.
right now.
So
See, that right there should tell you just how bad we let it get to where they're being investigated, and yet they're still brazen enough to actively let shit happen.
I'm going to tell you. I think one that's more telling, that is a better picture, because
My
it's all on
cat's
body
meowing
cam.
now.
So I was made aware of an incident that happened at a Buffalo school. That happened, and I don't know the call number yet. So you can't even ask me about it. All I have is information from individuals that were there. School, police, EMT, not going to say who. Just saying that information was given to me by a couple different sources. And the information is that a assault had occurred at the school, at some school.
I'm gonna go grab
I haven't
my
confirmed
dogs,
it yet,
just
but
in
I know
case.
that it happened because of the people that are telling me about it.
Oh no. Damn it. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Damn it.
Information was given to me by a couple different sources. And the information is that a
So sorry about that, guys. I keep trying to make these videos, and I got 3 pit bulls and 2 cats, and whether I'm sitting here not doing a video, they're usually asleep, but yet still snoring, but they're asleep. The minute I start videos, it seems like they want to get up. I'm trying. I'm just trying to make it work until something happens here.
that assault had occurred at the school, at some school. I haven't confirmed it yet, but I know that it happened because of the people that are telling me about it. Assault happened at a school in the city of Buffalo. Officers responded to that school. The officers asked the staff for information, and I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It was assault. It was just a normal assault. It was a 2 students had beaten up a janitor or somebody to that effect within the school.
Wow. Man, I hope these kids go to jail for this shit. I mean, 2 kids beating up a janitor. That janitor's there to get his paycheck and go home. You think he wants to be a janitor? I mean, he might. But the likelihood of it. But, I mean, he's there to help out and do what he needs to do for the community. And then you got kids like that walking around. That's what I'm talking about, not having a dad in the house.
Cool. So the janitor was basically stomped pretty bad.
These like high school age kids?
I believe so.
Okay.
And let me guess,
The
they were
janitor was
white
stomped
and
pretty bad and
privileged?
beaten up by these kids. Jumped. The officers go to the school.
How many times you see white privileged kids running around jumping janitors? I'm so tired of hearing about white privilege that doesn't exist. It's the powerful and elite.
They talk to the principal and say, hey, this is serious. We need the video of it. And also, we need to know these kids' names. And the school principal said, no. Not giving you anything. Not giving you
Takashe
the kids'
and
names. They're like, okay,
Shaquana.
but they're suspects in the crime. they jumped somebody at your school, they attacked basically one of your staff. We need to know who these people are.
No.
Even if we're not going to make an arrest, we go throughout the whole process. We get them counseling. Something needs to start. We need their names. The principal refused, called up legal counsel.
What the fuck, man? Guys, come on. Tell me what is going on, man.
Said legal counsel also told me to tell you to kick rocks. I'm not going to do that. This is all on body cam. And then the officers had the wherewithal to say, hey, here's the supporting deposition. I want you to sign the supporting deposition stating that you are refusing to give me the names of the suspects that assaulted your staff because they're individuals that go to your school. And she signed it.
Oh my God.
So it's
wow.
So she wrote the deposition. I'm refusing per legal counsel, if I'm not mistaken. I'm refusing per legal counsel. At least I'm refusing to give you the names of the children, juveniles,
adults,
17, 18, who gives a shit, that assaulted one of my members of staff.
So they don't care about any staff, or it's just how...
It shows you just how much they really don't care. You're expendable, you're replaceable, you don't matter, and neither do your kids. Just give us your money, sit down, shut up, and listen. That's all it is. That's all they want. All the left especially wants is for you to sit down, shut up, do what I said, and give me your money.
Their reputation is all they give a shit about. Because they're not protecting their own, and they're not
No,
protecting
they
their
give a
kids.
fuck about
They're
their
not
money,
protecting
though.
anybody. So now these two kids can go. They've got carte blanche. Why not go assault another staff member? Why not go assault
Exactly.
some kids? Teachers.
If you're not being held accountable for the actions you've made, therefore you're going to do it again. That's why this whole defund the police, reform the prison system, fuck that. Make it worse. Make it where make it like the prisons in Mexico and stuff, where everyone kind of has you better get to that water hose first, and you better have an old 2-liter bottle or something to catch the water in, otherwise you ain't getting no water. Make it so miserable that you don't want to take the chance in breaking the law to end up there. If you rape someone or sexually assault, I don't know how YouTube does with those words. I know a lot of people bleep it out. But anyhow, if that happens, you're castrated. There you go. You're done. You ain't never having sex again.
Teachers or the principal's not going to give any of my information away to the police. So there you go. Families that have their kids in schools, the principals are allowing juveniles that are assaulted,
that are fucking and then you wonder why these kids then go and attack cops, or don't listen to them when the cop says, just let me see your ID, I'm looking for a source. No, I ain't gonna be doing all that. Just saying. Look up the videos, you'll find one that sounds just like it. That's where it's starting. They're programming these kids to do that, starting in school, and they got the damn principals backing it by not turning them over to the cops.
Assaulting grown adults to remain around your children with no recourse.
Man, they need to allow every single American citizen that has not committed a violent crime to carry firearms, because every single mass shooter, school shooter, whatever shooter, the second you pull out that gun, you're going to have however many people around you, about 90% of them will have something on them. You pull that gun out, you better mean business, and it better not be that you're going to shoot someone that's doing nothing to you, because I guarantee you, you're going to get shot first. That's how the country needs to be. Illegals need to be out. Firearms need to be legal for anyone that's of age that has not committed a violent felony.
Of course. If your kid's being bullied at a Buffalo public school and you're not getting the response that you think you require to address that issue, this is your red flag. You might want to get involved.
There's probably 100 other red
a couple
flags.
of class actions right now against the Buffalo public school
Yeah,
system.
there's now ads going around Facebook and ads getting mailed out by law firms that are basically asking people like, hey, this is apparently a prevalent issue. Get a hold of it.
Well, that's the good thing. See, money is the main ruler to all of this. And the whole time, it was the school system and the administration and the lawyers that were getting paid through the schools hiding it all, so they were making all the money and keeping the money. Well, now other attorneys that are not hired by the school, guess what they want? They want that recognition and they want that money. So they're going to go against these guys. And I guarantee you, the dirt that's been hidden that this attorney and other attorneys at that law firm have covered up is going to unearth. Oh my Lord, so much is about to come out. It is going to crumble the Department of Education.
Hold of us if you want us to take a legal suit against Buffalo schools.
And this is, I guarantee, we've talked about it, but this has got to be
round of applause to these
Buffalo's
guys. They have truly
y'all need to rally too and
shown
figure out
millions
if this is
of
happening
people
in
this.
your districts and start expanding and asking for this information.
Yep.
Because
So-
this is definitely nationwide. thing.
I did
Guarantee
even
it.
more digging on the Shane Cronin case, the alleged kidnapping at the magnet school with the museum.
Go on.
I have written testimonies from teachers that were there that day.
Oh, interesting.
Blurt out. They got a hold of me, and they told me that one, they were taken aback and disgusted when they watched our podcast because this individual
Because we belched or because we were drinking?
No, because they were there that day and had to hear that there was an alleged kidnapping. They
Caesar's M.
Wow. So the way that the person that worked in the school that was in the building the day it happened found out through watching this podcast. Man, get out of here, yo.
They found out from us that there was an attempted kidnapping.
This is going to be your next news source right here. The Unsubscribed Podcast, Pepperbox TV, they're going to have actual reporters somewhere that's actually doing the work. And the media is going to fall also.
That day.
What
Not
the fuck?
from the administration. I have the Buffalo Schools handbook and how they handle emergency situations. The Buffalo School District
They
has
don't?
3 states of emergency. They have shelter in place, lockout, and lockdown. Shelter in place is something for like inclement weather outside. Hey,
I'm sorry, but lockdown, I guess. Because I was going to say lockout sounds like the same thing as lockdown. Either way, the doors are locked and people ain't coming and going. So
if there's a tornado
Let's see.
or winds or a flood, it's not safe to leave the building. Stay inside. Lockout is, hey, there's an external threat to the school that we're worried may come in. We're going to lock the exterior doors to the school so nobody can get inside. Lockdown is there's an interior threat to the school. All of the teachers need to take the kids in the classrooms, lock the doors to the classrooms, and then take a roll call so we can account for every child.
And then call administration, let them know if you're missing someone, and then maybe they will call 911, maybe not. But they need to add another one that is like a dark red that says homeschool your kids.
Going
Some
back
would
to the
call that
testimony.
foreshadowing.
Quote, during the active intruder gaining entry into the school building through the museum doors, school staff were never instructed to go on lockdown, but only shelter in place.
Oh, this isn't a storm. Go on.
Certainly not a storm, especially for a grown man breaking into a school. That would be a lockdown situation where you lock the school doors.
Breaking into the school for the purpose of kidnapping 2 children.
Whether they knew that or not at the time, yes. Breaking in is an interior threat. They should have been on lockdown.
No shit.
Continuing the quote, I do know that the assistant principal was attacked by this man as he attempted to gain entry to the second floor hallway.
Wow, the assistant principal was attacked? And yet the parents didn't know anything? The other teachers didn't know nothing? Are you shitting me? Good God.
Which contains 3rd through 5th graders. After the police arrived, the intruder was apprehended in the museum. Nothing in regards to further safety precautions were taken or offered to the students or staff at School 59 that day. The children and staff were not released from the building, and the day continued as if nothing had happened. Parents were also not made aware of the incident until a letter went home with every student the following day. So yeah, they didn't tell the parents.
Oh, I thought they were going to say, till after Unsubscribed Podcast decided to go on a their little podcast and tell the whole world about it. Then we sent home a letter.
The day that it happened. They instead sent home a mass letter with all of the elementary school kids. So who knows if the parents even got those letters. I wish I knew what the letter said, but obviously I don't live in Buffalo, so that would be really hard for me to, get a copy. Oh, wait, no, I'd have to fucking copy the letter.
Oh, good.
I was seriously about to say, dude, you've talked to so many people in Boston. I mean, not Boston, Buffalo. But, of course, he's got the letter.
The letter. Dear parents and caregivers, as you know, safety and the well-being of our students is a top priority
Bullshit.
on Tuesday, February 11th.
That's great. I thought one of them would have said bullshit also, but they busted out laughing.
That's how he was said. They were. Wow. Man, that got
This
me
is a
off guard.
comedy
You know what's
show.
really funny about letters like this is you could just say whatever the fuck you want.
I guess so. Hey, do these ones have untruths in them? Keep going.
Oh, we're going to get there. On Tuesday, February 11th, we had an incident where a man entered our school through the museum without permission.
Wait a minute. I thought he said the day after. This is the 13th. February 11th. So this is 2 days after it happened. Wow.
In response, the school was placed in a brief shelter.
February 11th is the day my fiance passed away, but not of this year, of 2019. It was one day after our 5th anniversary. Passed away from breast cancer.
In place, so if you guys want to say that it's an untruth that you didn't go on lockdown, I have your letter from your fucking principal saying that you went into shelter in place, which is not the appropriate protocol.
Boo. Boo schools. Boo.
And we immediately notified the Buffalo police, who responded within minutes and arrested the man. The school is also using this as an opportunity to evaluate and reinforce its safety protocols to help ensure that something like this doesn't happen again.
Oh, they got plenty of questions.
District officials and Buffalo Public School Security also met on Wednesday with the museum leadership to discuss the situation. Buffalo's Public Schools Crisis Prevention and Response Team and other support personnel have been and will continue to be available to students and teachers. As parents, you may want to talk
Simply, honestly, and possibly over and over again. Wow.
with your child as well. If your child exhibits any indications of emotional distress, we suggest that you listen to him or her. If they need to talk, answer their questions simply, honestly, and possibly over and over again.
No. You fix the issue. You stop letting it happen. And then you should actually be paying for their therapy they're going to have to go through from possibly almost being kidnapped due to your lack of action.
Please feel free to contact the school with any concerns or questions
Mark
you may have. Thank you for your
Shoemaker.
continued support. Sincerely, Principal Mark Shoemaker. So if you have questions about their concerns, they want you to contact them at the phone number 716-816-3370.
Ooh.
That is
Woo! All right. I knew he was going to cook them. I didn't know he was going to cook them like this. Dude, everyone that watches this should call and start asking questions and talking shit.
That is
I think I would have concerns. with
Dr.
parents as
Charles
well.
Drew, Science Magnet, Buffalo School, number 59. So yeah, attempted kidnapping, didn't tell any of the parents, didn't go into lockdown while there was a grown man attempting to kidnap children inside the school.
Fighting assistant principals. Breaking into more classrooms.
According to this testimony of the teacher that was there, he actually made it into a classroom and destroyed the classroom with the teacher inside. Wasn't sure if there was kids in there or not.
Just imagine this. Had the teacher had a firearm, more than likely, one, he may not even have went into the school. Two, he probably wouldn't have went into the classroom a teacher was in. And three, if he kept acting unruly and stupid, just put lead in him. Let him know what's up. Take him out in the kneecap. Just shoot him in the kneecap. Don't hit him in the thigh. Hit him in the kneecap.
But regardless, that teacher who was in a classroom that this man broke into, open the door because nobody told her to lock the doors because she didn't go into lockdown, would have been an issue.
And that when they said that they called the police within minutes or something like that, that's all fucking lie too, right?
I don't know the exact response time, but the fact of the matter is everything that they can control, like, hey, go on to lockdown and lock your doors. There's a man in here trying
Wasn't
to kidnap
done.
kids. They didn't do. And then they didn't tell the parents that.
Dude, any of you guys wonder what went on at school when your kids were in school if they're out? Now, whenever I went to school, we didn't have any of this happen. I'm not in near as big of a city. I'm in the center of North Carolina, but I mean Charlotte's pretty big, but where I'm at, it's not near that big, but we didn't have that issue. But nowadays, I don't know what they have go on. But do y'all now, are y'all curious what's happened?
The gravity of the situation. They're like, oh yeah, there was an incident. We had to go into shelter in place. Didn't mention that he attempted to kidnap kids.
Shelter in place from what? What are you sheltering from?
Didn't mention to the parents that he assaulted a principal. Didn't do any of that shit.
I mean, that can escalate so fastly. Just if that is a shooter or a situation like that, that's how you can see.
Oh, then it would plastered all over the news. Take away gun rights. What? Okay, take away all the gun rights right now. Guess who's still going to have them? The people that don't give a fuck about your laws. Because guess what? Guns are all over the world, but they're all over this country. Some we don't even know about, whether they be hidden underground, buried in a river. Doesn't matter. They're everywhere. And on top of that, they can come from Mexico. They can come from Canada. They can come in from on ships. They can get here. You're not stopping it. So stop trying to take away our rights with our guns, you idiots.
Somebody's in doing this. Instead, a person breaks into a elementary school room and destroys the room.
There's a grown-ass man in the school who should not be here.
Yes.
Who has gained access.
Yes, that would be.
There's a lot of
interior
grown-ass
threat,
people there that
which under their
shouldn't be
own
there.
criteria in their fucking manual that they got to write, they should have been on lockdown. And they didn't. Nate.
That way, it could have been a mass
will be
shooting.
held accountable for that.
Well, no, not yet.
But I bet.
become overwhelming.
But I bet. After some people see this episode, some attorneys see this episode, ooh, I bet they're going to find ways to eat this shit alive. And I hope they do. I hope
Really
they
apparent
do.
to me that the Buffalo District Attorney is not interested in actually getting people in trouble for this, and that the school board is desperately trying to.
But he's about to get in trouble himself.
Themselves, and not all of them. There's multiple people on the school board. I've looked into every member. Half to the slight majority of the school board is actually great people that are involved for the right reasons. There's 3 or 4 people that are piles of shit on that school board.
It's almost like a fraternity of shit. Wait a
or
second.
a sorority.
Or a sorority of shit.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There you go.
I mean, I tried to dig into this, but I can't. Obviously, I can't access.
I'm sorry. Here's my opinion. I've learned by watching a lot of stuff on basically YouTube. But I have found out that women are, well, I already knew it, but women run off the emotions. Therefore, when a father's not in the house, that emotional state that a woman's in, they transfer that to the child. Well, then you got these women in school boards running off emotions, and especially these fucking white liberal women. They always end up making everything about themselves, whether it's the BLM riots, Gaza or Palestine, whatever you want to call the place that wasn't there 100 years ago, whatever. That's besides the fact. Fact of the matter is, women are way too emotional, and they make decisions off of emotions, which is fine in a family. But when you're making decisions for other people, you're not supposed to run off of emotions. Men don't do that.
The AKA sorority records.
Alpha, Kappa,
But
Alpha.
allegedly, I've heard from multiple teachers and employees of Buffalo School District that the superintendent and multiple people on the Buffalo School Board that all vote together and are the ones dragging this out and preventing it so that she can retire are all.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. If you made it this far, if you have, I congratulate you a million times. Thank you so much. But no, I used to think women not having the right to vote, oh, we've come so far from there and this and that. Look, the reason why men used to pay for women's dinners is because men were the only ones working. That's why. It wasn't because you're a woman. No, it's because you didn't have a job. The man is going to pay for you. Well, now that we all can work and you can't take care of the kids, and now the school's got the kids, you should be able to pay for your own meals. But yeah, I honestly am starting to think, because I look at the way men make decisions, and some of them, it doesn't help the man at all. I've made decisions whenever, me and my family, to where it wasn't going to help me none. It put more work on me, but I did it to make it better for the family. But women rather make it easier. Not all the time, by no means. I'm not talking about the child. I'm talking about just decision making. They want to make it easier for themselves. But men are more likely to make it harder for themselves. So like when I voted for Trump, most of all the things he says is common sense and does. And thank God he's done what he's done. But no, even if there's things I didn't like the HPU thing, I don't really care for that. But if it makes, as a whole, if it makes us better, I'm still going to vote for him again, even though I don't agree with that. I don't agree with bringing people from outside the country in the country to take good paying jobs. I say you need to make our people here do those jobs, make them learn those jobs, make them educated, not bring in people from India and other countries to get these high level jobs that you just got to be so smart at. I say teach the ones we got. We got a lot of people not doing nothing in this country, all around the world, but still in this country.
All members of the same sorority. So they're just looking out for each other and not the kids. Allegedly.
Is that the wine guzzler too? Is the wine guzzler one?
I believe so.
What do you know?
Oh my God.
Imagine that.
The superintendent and the wine guzzler working together. So the wine guzzler who flips off people that are worried about their school and says so on a Zoom meeting, she gets to keep her job.
And who is the DA that's completely disinterested in this, by the way?
Oh, what is his name? What the fuck is his name? That guy that got a DUI in 1984? That guy that got a DUI in 1984.
You mean somebody had alcohol involved? Oh my God.
For, what was it? I believe he was driving under the influence down the wrong lane with no headlights. He then attempted to evade the police. After getting stopped, did a field sobriety test. And then, after he failed the field sobriety test, attempt to escape police custody, injuring a police officer in the process. He then...
how is he allowed to be in the position he's at? I wouldn't be able to do it.
He comes from from what I was able to read, he comes from a very affluent, well-connected family.
There you go.
And he was directly asked by the news when this came out during his election if his father's status had anything to do.
Hey, does that remind y'all of what's that guy's name? Joe Biden, when he plagiarized someone else's homework or essay for his final exam and had to retake it again, come out and said, oh, I was cheating off someone's test and I just copied what this, and then still got elected into then be in the Senate for 50 fucking years. The dude don't know how to use a computer, much less be running the entire state.
With the fact that these felony charges for evading cops, injuring a cop, if his dad had anything to do with the fact that those cases were then pleaded down to misdemeanor.
That is not white privilege. That is the elite and powerful pulling strings, paying money to get what they want. That's who is making white privilege. No, it's the elites. Us regular old white people ain't shit to nobody.
Misdemeanors. I believe he had 90 days of probation or something and a
wow,
$250
I'd have been
fine.
locked up
and
forever.
Then the courts actually sealed the records so they couldn't be pulled up against him again.
Wow.
But they accidentally got released during a FOIA request. So they got leaked out anyways.
No, I know that you've never said it. You've never said it, but I've heard people who have, that maybe his daddy's connections were the reason why that didn't turn out worse.
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
That would kind of make sense.
Well, but
It
that
tracks.
happened in the past. You shouldn't judge somebody off their past.
Wait a second. I get judged off my past all the time.
Wait.
That
I'm
beer
controversial.
can right there.
Guys, you forgot. I made funny videos on the internet.
Yeah, and you burped like 30 minutes ago, man. Come on now.
I called a kid fat one time and got in a car accident. I was not, but kind of was on the Brady list per channel.
Wait a minute, but that makes you a normal person, calling someone fat and getting in an accident. Bigger whoop. Driving down the wrong side of the road and cutting your headlights off, trying to evade police. Then you injure a cop while trying to get away from the police. That's not normal. That's not, man, what the fuck ever.
Channel 2, I'm the guy you shouldn't listen to, and I understand now why the news shit on me.
But
all
then the
these
news
years for being
went
a
to
bad
that
person.
guy
I've learned my
to back
lesson.
their story.
I think I've grown.
Is there a single person in that binder who doesn't have a, I don't know what you would call it, maybe a rocky history?
Or an alcoholic history. Like, I get it. They're drinking. I used to drink. But there's a difference between all of them. Like, they're drinking on camera, talking about the lady in the Zoom call, flipping people off, telling them to shut up, bitch, and this, that, and the third. And then another guy running from the police, evading police, injuring the police. Get the fuck out of here.
Not really. No. But I think I've come up with a solution. So I don't have faith that the DA is going to
They
do
all
his
just,
job. The Buffalo School Board's going to try
retire
to
and
drag this
quit.
out as long as humanly possible to hoping to God everybody forgets.
Oh, but please, everybody, don't let this forget. You guys up in New York, y'all all take out lawsuits against these sons of bitches. They put all your kids in danger.
So my
They did.
my answer to this is I've looked into it. It takes about somewhere between 85 and 110,000 votes to swing a federal election in the state of New York. So if you were a
Dude, y'all are cooked. This podcast gets millions of views. It's going to spread through New York like crazy. And they are going to have so many signatures. Y'all are going to get kicked out. Y'all have fucked yourself. I did not know they were going to cook them like this.
for a federal law enforcement agency like the FBI, and you got 100,000 fucking complaints about the Buffalo school boards emailed to you, do you think maybe the federal government would get involved at that point?
Boy, I couldn't ignore that if I wanted to, if I was a member of the Federal Bureau of Investigation or Attorney General's office. It would be impossible for me to ignore that. In fact,
And I'm sorry, but if I'm not mistaken, Pam Bondi and Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, whoo, those are not the right ones you want to go fucking around like this with. They are the wrong political party to be in power when this shit comes out, and you're going to sit here and fuck around, bring the media in it, and the media backs you, and now you're all about to get roasted.
I think I would have to look at it.
I got to keep an
Considering
update on
the
this.
volume of complaints, I would have to take that as some sort of serious event that needs an investigation.
You would be a fool not to.
It would be foolish not to, yes.
And you
Even
want to
if-
be transparent too.
Even if you wanted to cover it up because the government doesn't like holding itself accountable, do you think that the federal level government would spin around and hold a school board and local government accountable, knowing that if they didn't, it would sway an entire federal election?
I think that could be possible. You know, the government...
Dude, they have cooked these guys, and I hope y'all are still here watching. The few that do watch, I hope y'all enjoy this. I'm loving every second of it. I will be keeping tabs on this, and I will let y'all know as soon as I see the next thing that comes up about this.
Governor of New York State, Kathy Hochul, actually had a response to the investigation that's going on, well, lack of investigation that's going on in the city of Buffalo. And I'm going to have to pull it up real quickly because I don't want to be misquoted for my governor. I would hate to put words
Oh,
in her
wow.
mouth.
But this little podcast where people
Yeah,
burp
just
and
a
are
little.
foul and drink alcohol
just a little
has
bit.
brought these allegations to the point where the governor is making a fucking response.
Well, I apologize. It's not the governor. It's the governor's press office. So she's obviously very busy and couldn't comment
Yeah.
on the
That's
second largest
clown.
school district in the entire state.
I'm sorry. Kathy Hochul is a fucking clown. Didn't she even get into that office off of like sheer luck? Like she wasn't like voted in. She's like a dirt bag. Like looks like an old bag.
State, her hometown, actually.
Really?
You know, these things happening, which she's busy. I can understand.
Doing what?
So she would have to have her.
Oh, she's busy playing hide and go seek and fuck yourself with the illegal aliens up there. How they're shutting down all these, pop up illegal alien housing places, and yet they're showing up in warehouses and shit.
Have her press office make the statement of, it is our understanding that there are active investigations by law enforcement regarding certain allegations, as well as the internal review by the school district, which hasn't happened yet.
Which is a lie, because they haven't even announced who's going to start the investigation. So that's not true.
And we await the results of those reviews. So if I'm understanding...
Oh, the reviews that will not come. Because they're going to pick the law firm that's going to say they investigated it and it's attorney-client privilege and you're not going to hear shit. That's all right. This podcast is about to crush some dreams here.
Understanding this correctly, it would be that Governor Kathy Hochul's office, maybe her, because I don't know if they got this to her yet. Hopefully somebody can get it to her. Are aware that the ongoing abduction case is still... ongoing.
Yeah.
But yet they are willing to wait for the Buffalo school systems to complete their own internal investigation. Which, Nick, that one investigation from 3 years ago, is that out yet to the public?
The shooting at McKinley High School?
Yeah.
No, that hasn't been released.
Noted.
Neither.
This is the first time I've heard of this.
School shooting? I believe the other investigation regarding the stabbing at Riverside High School, that investigation's results have also never been released.
Okay, so those investigations, although they are ongoing, even though they haven't actually started the investigation currently for that school, even though those ones are done and we've never gotten the results for it, the governor's office is going to wait on the investigation from the Buffalo School District, who's never shared anything about.
Do y'all understand that, like, they've had 2 more sex-related crimes since the original podcast just 3 weeks ago? They've got shootings and stabbings from 3 years ago that still haven't been released to the public. But yet the investigation is over on one, the other one hasn't. So, or no, they both been done, but they haven't been released to the public. The newest one hasn't been started yet. So do you know how many more are going to be stacked on top of that other than these 2? Wow, it's going to be so great.
Anything about their investigations before to complete before anything happens. So
what a hilarious non-statement. We are aware that
a
some
whole
things are
bunch
being
of
looked
words
to, and
for
we
nothing.
wish them luck.
Yep.
And wait,
So my
school shooting.
What? It was outside the school. It was like a gang thing. Like a kid ran up on the school and shot a security guard while trying to shoot another child during dismissal. So there was a lot of kids out there.
What the fuck?
Our department flooded the area because we thought it was going to be like a planned school shooter. It was more gang violence, but nonetheless still a shooting at the school. The security guard was wounded, and I think somebody else, I think a student, don't quote me on that, but that's what happened.
And they just said that
they said they did their own investigation, and that
that's it.
investigation is not shared. That's what we talked about
It is
earlier.
not released to the public
because it's attorney-client privilege.
Yeah. So they have a pretty good history of
Hope they
not
like being
sharing
in frying
results of the
pans and
investigation,
ovens
which
and
would
pots
concern everybody.
because
so
they
I
are
think my
getting
solution
cooked.
now would be to put up the email of the FBI, and we'll put it in the description as well. And you can
I think
email
it would
the
also
FBI
be like right here on the screen.
and let them know, hey, you should probably be looking at Buffalo Public Schools. And then if, I don't know, this video gets 1 million views and we can rely on 10% of you to take 30 seconds out of your day to shoot an email, and then the FBI
I'ma
gets
do that.
100,000 emails, which is enough to sway a federal election, we get to do this cool thing where we pit the government against itself and watch it eat itself alive.
Hell
And what's
yeah.
even funnier
I'm
is Kash
definitely
Patel, the
doing
director of the
it. Guys, y'all got to do that. I'm going to go back and put it back on the screen. Right there. tips.fbi.gov. I'm going to that right after this, and I'm going to say they need to investigate the Buffalo school system.
would probably be looking at Buffalo Public Schools. And then if, I don't know, this video gets 1 million views and we can rely on 10% of you to take 30 seconds out of your day
I'm
to shoot
going
an
to
email,
do that just
and then
in
the
a second.
FBI gets 100,000 emails, which is enough to sway a federal election.
Where's my
we get to
phone
do this
at?
cool thing where we pit the government against itself and watch it eat itself alive. Oh, and what's even funnier is Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, came out 10 days ago and took a hardline stance on protecting kids in school. So this is almost like me walking up and putting a home run ball on the tee for them to make an example out of somebody.
That was 10 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Weird.
What happened there? Anyway, I'm going to make this simple for all of you that are listening. I don't care if you think that the other 10%
Tips,
are going to do it for you.
FBI.gov.
You, on your phone, right now, you.
I am.
You should probably send an email to somebody saying to look at the Buffalo Public School program and that it's an issue.
Don't swear.
this is
Don't
not-
like just spam
Please,
memes.
please
like,
don't get on there and be like, this is Epstein's Island 2.0. There's a crazy ring. There's not. We're not saying that. The school administration has harbored a culture of not valuing children's safety as the highest priority. And because of that, we think that children are continually getting put in danger they don't need to get put in.
Nick, do you think that we could have, like, I don't know, a template email that we could put up
Oh,
in
like
the
if,
description?
like if I wrote a letter that people could just,
Copy and paste?
and put it right into the email and send it 100,000 times, yeah, we could do that.
Be a shame if that was in the description.
Huh.
No.
We're going to put that in the description, and maybe the website to do so is going to be right here. Maybe it's right fucking here.
Can we do anything with the was it the change one where we do
Change.org?
That's a petition.
A petition?
Would that help at all? Also, if
I
we
think-
stack with it, or just the emails is the main thing right now?
I think the petition, I don't want to say no. I want to leave all options open. But at this moment, with my governor's office being aware of it and then choosing to sit back, I think that it has to be the FBI or the AG's office that is bombarded with people caring so that it is unignorable. I would also really like the New York governor's office and like senators like Chuck Schumer and Gillibrand to also be bombarded with the same email.
So could we CC? What we'll do in the description then is put those emails in for you to CC
Copy,
add.
paste right into send to. You know what'd be really funny is if at one of the school board meetings we just had Unsub Live in the parking lot.
Oh my God.
I wanted to go to the first one so bad. Maybe I just get somebody with a camera and I go to one of the next ones.
What are they going to do? Call the cops?
Well, if they do, they might just...
That's the catch-22. That is the fucking...
Finally, you're doing what we wanted.
Call the police.
I've always wanted to get a
The
mug
cops
shot.
storm in. Let me guess, you guys are here for school other.
What was one of the most wild things during all of this?
Honestly, the craziest part for me is just like the saddest part for me is just the sheer volume of teachers that I've talked to that all said the same thing. Like, and I made sure intentionally to do it unprompted. Like, I didn't want to ask, like, hey, do you feel like the Buffalo School Board is tying your hands behind your back, preventing you to do the right thing, and you're scared of retaliation if you do the right thing? I made sure to not mention that. They all organically brought that up themselves. Like, all these teachers that I've talked to are phenomenal people that, like, genuinely really, really care about these kids and want to do the best they possibly can for them. And they all feel that the school board and its policies are preventing them from keeping those kids safe and doing the right thing. And they are all, with the exception of people that have already been retaliated against extensively, 95% of them are all extremely terrified of being retaliated against. And I have the interviews, and we've already played one of those interviews where he says, I've seen people's... They said they've seen people's careers get ruined by this.
Which
You know
should
what I mean?
never be the case. And the goal, I think the goal also should be, I think we said it in the past, was repercussions for not addressing this should outweigh repercussions for addressing. It's like, oh, you might get fired, but the people that get fired, if you get fired for that, they're going to prison. It is making examples. If you don't
If you
Report it.
obstruct.
Yes, obstruct, report.
If you're the low guy that's afraid of losing their job and you've been in a place of fear and you made a mistake and didn't report something, you're not the person we're upset with. We're upset with the people that put you in that position, that made you fear for your job and your livelihood, that are preventing you from doing the right thing. And because they're preventing you, it's creating this culture of fear and making you, along with others, afraid of the repercussions from your overseers or administrators. And that is why these issues aren't being handled.
And I'm glad you brought that up because it reminds me of something that I was thinking when you made a post the other day where they're trying to basically just stick it to this one guy, the guy with the kidnapping charge.
Yeah.
They're just trying to just stick everything to him and like, see, we did something about it. And it's like, no. See, this is like the, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish kind of situation.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's getting charges. That's fucking great.
You're treating the symptom, not the cause.
Exactly.
We want to treat the cause.
If the people responsible for the culture that is built in Buffalo public school systems don't get some sort of accountability, this is all for nothing.
100%.
What's next on this?
Well, next, I sit back and laugh as the FBI launches an investigation into the Buffalo School Board and the District Attorney of Erie County.
And we also get to watch the civil suit go on. Civil suit, yes, but the
class action
lawsuit with all these people that have had their children wronged go against the Buffalo City Schools.
And then I sit back and I watch and I wait.
I'm looking
as these people, the school board members have elections coming up in 2 months. So if you guys don't
worse.
This, I'm going to get involved in that. And then
I think all of us are also available to testify.
He did this for free. I think we can get involved.
He also kind of sort of did it for fun. Y'all fucked around and now you're finding out.
Now.
I think we might have.
I have it in my calendar in 2028. The District County Attorney of Erie County also goes up for re-election. I'm going to get involved in that election too if he doesn't unfuck himself. And just so you guys understand, if you haven't grasped what I mean by that, we've been involved in elections before. Brandon, how did that one election that we were involved in go? That federal congressional election?
Running against an incumbent, who I believe incumbents have a 93% re-election rate in this country.
And how much money did he have over?
I think it was about 10 to 1.
10 to 1?
Spent about 10 to 1.
And now, let this be known, I think their channel was probably half as big as it is now. Maybe, not even that. I don't know. All I know is Brandon Herrera's channel has blown up, Fat Electrician has blown up, and Unsubscribe is blowing up. And they got Pepperbox. So now the attention is 10 times greater than it ever was.
Took him to a runoff, which was very expensive. I think he budgeted $3 million for his election. He had to spend 13.
Oh, interesting.
And he barely snuck by with 400 votes in a runoff election.
See,
that he was not.
That's why I say, he should have won.
We didn't even get to say that kid was putting children in danger.
Or failed to put children in a better position than when they started.
So, I mean, whatever. We're going to give your opponent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of free good press, and we're going to give you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in free bad press. And I got enough money. I'll buy billboards all over Buffalo to shit all over you.
Well,
funny story.
I'm sorry, them motherfuckers are making bank. I wish I could make the money they made. I wish I knew how to edit. I don't know how to edit. I need to figure out how to edit good, and maybe I can start making something.
That might have already started. Not from me, but from people in the community who want to let you know how they feel.
By somebody who lives in Buffalo.
By somebody who lives in Buffalo.
Dude, those DMs are wild. It costs more, but it's worth it. And these are just...
There are random people that are doing God's work in the city of Buffalo by putting up billboards. Can't wait to see you in June.
God, we got the orbital autism space laser on this fucking city.
Yes. It's like rods of God. There's just
puzzle pieces clicking into place
of titanium.
Guys, my camera paused on me, but I'm still here, just so you know. I'm not going to stop it and do another one. I'm not doing another whole video. We got 13 minutes left. Just roll with me.
Is there any legal reason that I couldn't sell yard signs pertaining to this incident?
No.
On Bunker just for cost
as
to
a
break even on them?
citizen, I don't think there is.
Oh. I'm going to look into getting yard signs for the city of Buffalo.
You know what?
On bunker branding.
We could probably, maybe do that.
I'll sell them at cost. I don't need to make any money off that.
Yeah.
I'll do that for the fun.
Dude, what should those yard signs say? If only the comments section could help us out.
Only
with
the card slogans and
Oh,
designs. People. I
God.
want to see them.
We're gonna do one of the name things.
Don't get drenched in the bullshit.
Don't be a cog.
Do to your school board what they've done to your kids. Fuck them.
Yeah, don't be a cog. Don't be a cog.
Buffalo School Board for unemployment.
Oh, classifieds.
And anything for you, Rich, on any final closing statements on what you want to see or done or just personal?
I think that if you've watched it this far, we've laid out a compact and easy plan for you. There is a cut and pasta for you to email exactly who you need to email. We're even telling you who to email. That is the smallest, easiest thing you could do. And you can do it literally as we're sitting here bullshitting with one another.
Throw it up
Everything other than that, on top of that, is whipped cream and a cherry on top of a sundae. I look forward to the signs. Can't wait to see what you degenerates write down in the comments for potential signs. I bet you the highest voted one is going to be despicable, and I love it.
Shut up. My dogs
Continue
are active.
your fantastic use of social media in the bullying of journalists.
Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome. And the checks and balances that you provide to local news media when they decide not to cover something or to potentially skew what the story should be about. That is very appreciated.
And you're about to
And
teach them a
also,
lesson.
Love reading the comments whenever you do that in those spaces as well.
To quote the donut operator, bully journalists.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not people.
They're barely even real.
Except for Ben.
Ben
Ben and Nate Benson.
We'll have to discuss something and figure out something for our own news for Pepperbox.
Oh, I mean, if this goes
those
well, we
two-
might own channel 2. So
Oh, wow.
I'm waiting for that.
They're doing exactly what I said earlier. I said this is going to become a news channel. And now they're just talking about putting news channels on Pepperbox. That's awesome. I need to get Pepperbox.
Yeah, you can
Apology,
get some
Channel
news
2.
channel.
That better be the fucking headline.
Oh, yeah.
If you think we're kidding, we're fucking not.
WGRZ. I've already contacted a defamation lawyer in New York.
Oh,
He's
you
the
did?
biggest
Okay, good.
dickhead I could find. So, headline: WGRZ sincerely apologizes to senior Buffalo SVU detective Richard High. I want a full article about how you guys f- this up.
I promise you that will be much less expensive.
I really want to change your name and own you to Buffalo WGRZ. and our shirts are going to say come. We're gonna make you come watch our channels. That's my goal.
Our lawyers are going to do foul things to you.
Yes, absolutely foul. Which, by the way, is a shirt now.
Is it really?
On the Unsub channel. It is. We made a shirt that says absolutely foul because
Absolutely
it was such a
foul.
good headline. We couldn't just, leave it away. So we've got the bad bitch stuff. We've got the new absolutely foul shirt for Unsub.
And all of the money from that will go toward
My
helping
legal
make
fund.
Make
What?
this fun.
Yeah, to making this fun. All the money going to that is just going to be used in the most pivotal way.
If we get arrested for this somehow, the mug shots are going to be fucking hard. I like it.
If our mug
It's an
shots
album
can be
cover.
on a mug.
I want the
Mug-
Johnny Cash T-shirt.
Yep.
The mugshot.
When I got arrested, I should have got a mug shot. I really missed out.
Senior SVU detective admits to being arrested.
I know that's the entire article. That said. FOIA request.
You're not a real man if you haven't been arrested.
What was that for?
Oh, I got in a fight with a drug dealer.
Oh, really? No shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
I was off duty, and me and my buddy called 911, and then the next day, like after the police showed up, and they tased one of the guys that we fought because he was throwing bricks at us and trying to fight the cops.
Oh, I know this story.
Yeah, we were like, oh, hey, thanks for showing up, guys. We appreciate it. You can see they're an issue. And then I drove away, and then the next day or two, I got like a call, and they were like, you got to go to court. And I was like, for what? And they're like, the drug dealer you fought wants to press charges. I'm like, that's what?
Reverse Uno.
Yeah, I was like, what a reverse Uno card? I was like, what? Okay, I guess. Sure.
Well, Richard,
Sure got a mugshot.
thank you so much for having trust in Unsub, all of them, and then all of us, and the fortitude to starting it here.
Yeah, that sucked.
A month ago.
The first couple of days sucked real bad. So thank you for coming to having my back. The first couple of days sucked real bad.
He was super stressed. Cannot stress that enough. Is you were worried, and once you've seen the love, it was, and the support, it was instant. You said it was like,
yeah, it's like a weight off my shoulders. The community, like, you came in hard for me, and I appreciate that. I can't repay you for that.
So thank you all. Like, seriously, thank all of you for that. And then thank you, buddy. We appreciate you and we love you.
What can I say? I'm pretty. I do a lot of stupid shit. I'm just glad that you guys can back me up on half of it.
And Nick, you autistic. Thank you so much for doing this level of research.
I can't
Holy
wait.
shit.
I can't wait to hand that over to the FBI.
We've got so much more than the binder. A lot of it's digital on my part.
I have a lot of I have interviews recorded. I have hundreds, maybe thousands of emails.
He's so autistic. He tried to print out a video on this, and he just kept poking the paper. Yeah.
I see the play button. I was like, push it.
It could work.
Thank you guys so freaking much.
All right, guys. Look, if you made it to the end, thank you very much. I hope you become a subscriber. Definitely, if you guys haven't checked out Unsubscribe, go check them out. Link up with them guys. I will catch y'all on the next one. Sorry, my camera went out. Anyhow, you guys take it easy. Beautiful day, wonderful night, whatever it may be. I will see you on the